Hello everybody, Technojock here, back with another vanilla Minecraft 1.13, and today I'm going to be doing something with kelp. It's been long on the cards since we made the Super Smelter here, which is currently going quite nicely, to do something with a kelp farm. So I have decided that here would be a good idea, right next to the Super Smelter, and I've kind of laid out something to begin with. So the idea is, this is going to be, I think the area where the pistons are, I've got it on here, is 28 blocks long. Or is it 29, I think? So the way I have measured this out is basically it's going to be as long as I can power it with one signal going in. So if I flick that switch there, obviously it powers this piston, and it goes all the way down here on this strip of redstone to here, but doesn't power this one. Okay? So if I take this this lever off here and go down to where that one was still powered, so here, and I go like that, obviously it powers these two here, no bother, but it powers that one on the very end and doesn't go any further, and it powers that one on the very end and doesn't go any further. So that is how long we are going to make each bit of our kelp farm. This is not going to be just it. It's going to go up in stages as well. So the kelp is going to be planted here, and it's going to grow up and obviously be knocked off by pistons that are going to be placed all the way along here like this. And then above this, we're going to have more dirt, and it's just going to be planted on top of these pistons. So it goes back one bit, like so. And then above that, there'll be another one, and so on and so forth. We'll use water streams to take the kelp off down towards the front here, and we're going to have a collection method along the front here. So really what we're looking at is we can go back 8 levels of this, so 8 layers back, because, well, in fact it'll be, yes it will be, we'll see, it might be 7 layers, no, but 8, because the water will flow down 8 blocks. So we go 1 back, 2 back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and that's where our last lot of kelp will grow. Cool beans! So what I need to do is I need to basically just throw together something here with, I think I'll use stone blocks behind, although I don't know, I quite like the slabs for this. Maybe it would be too much with the slabs. I'm not going to seed these stone bricks too much because they're going to be behind. They're going to be behind the stuff here. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it should be slabs just to keep it. I think it should be slabs just to keep it looking nice. Yeah. We'll use the stone brick somewhere else, and we'll put in slabs in behind. That's what we'll do. So I'm deliberately not using sticky pistons. A, I don't have an awful lot of slime yet. I do have that slime chunk that I found a little while ago, but I have not as yet made a slime farm with it. Otherwise, you would know about that. So I'm going to get on and put slabs under there like that. Yeah, that looks alright. And also, those will come out to here. And here, I may do something different on the actual walls. I might break this up a little bit and use maybe glass here. Might be nice to have some glass there. Like so. And then of course we're going to have glass across the front as well. Yeah, I think that might work nicely. And it would be in keeping with our other builds that we've got going so far. So let's get some more of this done just now. Definitely want to have more of that in there like that, and then that's going to continue up there as well along with that, and we're going to have more dirt going along like so. So I need to get in a lot of the pistons and stuff, and I need to swap those cracked stone bricks out for blue wool, so that we know that that is properly redstoned up. And that's how we'll do it, I think. We'll worry about the actual redstone circuitry after we've got all of these in place, because that will tell us where we can actually start putting stuff in. Don't need to go that far over. Perfect, that's all good. And then we'll have like so, like so, and like so. Perfect, that's looking nice. Okay. Yeah. And something like, yeah, that's going to look good. Okay, let me get these put in place, and I shall see you in a minute. Bringing you in quickly because it's taking shape, but I have got a considerable amount of resources to go and get. But this is starting to look good. It's going up nicely in these steps, and yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. One thing I did fail to mention was this isn't dirt that's along here, it's coarse dirt, because I don't want grass going on it, because I'd heard that kelp doesn't grow on grass blocks properly. So I've just put in some coarse dirt here. The rest of it's just normal dirt, because it's too far away from the grass around about it for the grass to spread, but, oh dear. Yeah. I will need to come out of here anyway, so may as well do that. There we go, because that's where our collection stuff's going to come out. But I'm going to go off just now and do a massive big mining run and see what I can get. I do need lots of redstone for all of the circuitry and for lots more pistons. Obviously I'm okay with... Oh, hello villager. Obviously I'm okay with iron, but yeah, redstone is a little bit of a concern at the moment. I could do with some more diamonds actually, because I want some more armor. Taking a quick break here because I've got a bunch of diamonds whilst I was mining, and I have got myself my full diamond armor now. I already had the diamond helmet with a bunch of stuff on it, my diamond boots, although I just did put feather falling 4 on them, so those are pretty good just now. My helmet's pretty good as well. It's just about as good as it's going to get, but there's one last thing. I need to get some better, well, I need to get some chance in that, but I have some ready to go. But what I want to do is I've done a lot of villager trading. Of course, come on, please unlock, please unlock. Please. Really? Am I going to have to... I could probably do that. Come on. That would be enough. Come on, unlock. You're not going to unlock, are you? I don't have anything to unlock them with here. Because I want thorns and all this. This would make my armor the best it possibly could be. I'll grab that as well. I do have some more diamonds in there as well. Not diamonds, emeralds, that's the word I was looking for. So, yeah, but that I think is the extent of it, because that's all the stuff. I took up a load of rotten flesh, a load of potatoes, even some coal with the blacksmiths, and a massive amount of paper from our sugarcane farm, which is why I wanted it, because all of these guys will trade paper and written books as well. It's a good thing to trade with. So yeah, a staggeringly large amount of paper has been traded with these guys all the way around here, and things are looking good. Come on, just unlock. Go on, come on. You know you want to. Go on, go on, go on. Am I gonna have to buy something ridiculous? I don't want to buy that. That's really expensive. That will guarantee he unlocks though, won't it? Yep, there he goes. Right, but that doesn't leave me with enough emeralds on me to be able to get all the thorns that I want, because of course that would be too handy, wouldn't it? Right, so on that, let's see how I get on with that. I've got loads of levels as well from all the trades I've been doing, although I have had to go and farm some up as well. So we want to go thorns 1, Thorns 1 gives us thorns 2. I've got thorns 2 and a thorns 2. Gives us a thorns 3. I'm going to run out of levels here. But you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to probably have to come back in a second after getting more levels, because that's 8 and that is, yeah, not enough. And I need to go and get more books anyway, because here we go. We should have enough now to do the last little bit here, which is our diamond chest plate, and we're putting thorns 3 onto it. So we've got mending, unbreaking, protection 4, and thorns on that. I've got extra thorns left because it was going to be, well, I'll show you. It's too expensive. Too expensive. I've got too many enchants on it, basically. Perhaps if I'd done it in a different order, I might have managed to get that on there, but hey-ho, that's just the way it is. And the annoying clicking sounds you can hear is me getting rid of an awful lot of arrows, because, well, this was completely full. I've put some more bones over in the potato farm. And I've been farming this for quite some time. So let's get back up to do what we were intending to do this episode anyway, which is our... Ooh, it's dark and night is full of terrors. Oh, and I don't have any arrows because I've thrown them all away. That was stupid of me. Right, let me quickly sleep. Right, I've got a bunch of more stuff. What I've got here is a load of chests, because really what I want to do is I want to have a bunch of chests kind of here-ish. But I'm just going to put these here for the moment like this, and we can store some extra stuff in there that we don't quite need yet. Yeah, I want the magma blocks. I wanted to... Oh, I can get rid of those because I don't need them for the time being. And I want to tidy things up over here a tiny little bit, because I've been playing around with exactly how I want this to work. And how I want this to work is to be nice and tidy. I'll leave that there. The rest of it doesn't really matter a huge amount. But what I will have is this, like so, along here. I'll have to be careful not to burn my feet, but I shouldn't need into underneath there now, because anything I do will be done round the back. Oops. Oh, great. Let's do that. Boop, boop, boop. Course start, please. And that goes there. Perfect. And that's all very nice. Excellent. So that's how I want that to look. Let's go on up here. And we'll continue with this. And we'll have those going along like that. That's all looking good. And we just continue on up until we've got the 8 levels that we're going to need here all done. So, yeah. Like so. Like so. And continue on up. Yeah. Right. Wow. We have got all of them in, and this thing is huge. Yeah, it's really very tall. It's quite imposing here, but it's going to look very, very cool. I mean, the iron farm is pretty big. This stretches along here, but this is pretty dominating in terms of its size here. So let's just see what we can do. I need to build up a little bit here, because what I'm going to start doing now is putting in the water, and I want to start off along here, and we're just going to go... How do I want to do this? I do need to put in right in the corner there, and then when we'll get another bucket, and then we can start using an infinite water source, and we can build this up along here. Now, the kelp itself will start making stuff into infinite water. No, actually, I don't want to do that. will start making stuff into infinite water sources itself. But we've got to have the columns above the magma as infinite water sources. Has to be, otherwise the bubble effect doesn't work. Oops. Ooh. So that's what we need to get done there. And then as we walk our way along, we need to make sure we've got water source blocks also. Really? In the sides. So in that bit there. And go. Did not want to do that. There we go, like that. Come on. And there. Excellent. So what we're going to do is all of this kelp is going to be, eventually it'll float up and it'll wash over to this side here, and then the bubble vortex from the magma will bring it down to here. So that is the idea. No. And then I can go. Perfect. Right. That will work nicely. Yeah. Like so. Oh, this works. Cool. And then I can start planting kelp, because I don't actually have enough kelp to plant in all the spaces here. So whilst I'm doing the rest of the building, I may as well get it to grow. So let's grab some kelp. And there we go, got a bunch of kelp there. That'll be plenty to go along. A bunch of these. So we can go along like this. Like so. Perfect. Right. Can I get out? Am I going to be... Ow. How am I going to be able to do this? No. Ugh. I'm going to have to put a placey block there to stand up on. And then break that. And yeah, that makes it back into a source block. Now, I do need to have the source blocks here, because what's going to happen is the pistons are going to extend all at once and break the kelp here, which will mean that these aren't... they'll be flowing source blocks. So any kelp that's below them will not float up. So because we've got source blocks along the front here and a source block here, any of the flowing water source blocks will be made back into a source block. If you see what I mean. So any flowing water block that's, any water source block that's broken by a piston, that's then made into a flowing water block, will be made into a water source block by the water in front of it and the water to the side. And that one there will... the one in front here and the one to the side here will repair that one, and it'll work its way all the way along from both sides. So it should work quite nicely. Let's just double check and see. Whoop. So we've got a few that are growing there that have already grown. Do I have a lever here? I do. So if we go like that, we have got broken kelp somewhere. Do we have floaty kelp? Yes, we have floaty kelp, and look, it's right on the bottom there because it's been pushed over here and it's on the bottom there where that magma block is. So if we take a minecart, hopper minecart, which I should have in here, I do. Let's go and see if we can set this going, because I have got the end of this out here. Oh, I had water leak down. Oh, that's... When did that leak down? Irksome. Okay. That must have been a while back, because where are the actual blocks? Because that's annoying. Like that, and like that. Yeah. When did that happen? I don't recall there being water leaking there. Very strange. Oh well, it's a good job that I've got that, and we can repair it all. Let's get that sorted out. Little bit confused by that. Anyway. This will be fine though. And then we will come up to here. That will be on like that. That's a powered one. This will be... oh, I need to have a normal unpowered one there. Right. Need to have a normal unpowered one on the corner because powered rails can't turn corners. Let's just do that. And when this thing comes back up here, it should have a little bit of kelp in it. Okay. I'll go all the way along. Picking up all the stuff. Thank you very much, minecart. That is exactly what we want. Right. Let's get the rest of this filled in. Right. We have got a lot done. Let's have a look at this thing. I'm climbing up from the outside, and I still need to put some redstone on the back of this, but it is all filled with water. Right the way up, we've got the plants put in. Everything's pretty much in place in the middle, except the top layer. We need to put in the layer of water that is going to push everything over to this side. Now, in order to do that, because if you put in water like this, watch, if you do this, it only goes a couple of blocks, and we want it to go all the way over here. So what I need to do is, I need to go and put in water. I need to go and put in a layer here like this. So it's going to run over something solid. Now, the reason I've just put in ice here is because we need to make sure that the water blocks in this level all go back to water source blocks, because we need them in like that. And we wouldn't be able to put in water source blocks in the middle here, for instance. We could put them all on the edge. We can't put them in the middle, but to put them in the edge underneath another water block is going to be tricky. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put them along the ice along the edge here, and then when I break this ice without using Silk Touch, it is going to become water source blocks. And because I've got it along that edge there and that edge here, then it will make this entire layer into water source blocks. Cool beans. I'll fill in the rest with dirt because we don't care about that. We'll take the dirt out before we do anything else when we're ready to fill things in. So let's go and we'll do this like so. And we'll just fill in all of this. And there we go. Right. We are ready to rock, except I should have. Oh well, I can do this, and like so. And now that one there, and then we can go along with our infinite water source, making all of this go up to here. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I have not made this in a creative world or anything like this. This is all, well, this bit of it is certainly all just on the fly, on the cuff, off the cuff. I don't know. There we go. Right. That's that done. Let's take out all this. Depth Strider boots coming to the rescue here, I can tell you. Cool beans. Take all of this out. Excellent. That's all good. And now, all we do is break all of these without silk touch. The ice turns into a water source block, and everything flows down to this point here. And as you can see, the bubble elevator. Is it an elevator when it goes down? Downivator? Descendivator? But that's going. Cool. So everything should be perfectly working now and ready to rock. Now, obviously, the kelp plants way down towards the bottom can grow a lot more than the kelp plants up here on the top level, but that shouldn't be an issue. That's cool beans. Yeah, we're just going to have this thing harvest fairly regularly. For one thing, we want to keep it as efficient as possible and not have these plants grow up to this point here. Now that's a little bit worrying. Don't want things collecting up on this bit. The thing is that these will become water source blocks when these kelp grow up to here anyway. So there's no choice, these have to be water source blocks. But I don't want things bobbing around up here. I wonder if I can do something about that. It was a little bit of a concern. Yeah, the other reason I want to have it harvesting fairly regularly is the more kelp blocks it breaks at once, the more of a lag it's going to cause when we have lots of items floating around. So I don't have any blue wool on me to do the wiring there, but let's get on down here. Night is coming and we need to get things sorted out. So let's go and flick this switch and have a look and see how things go. Flick it back off again. So that's just doing the one level. But yeah, we can see there's some kelp floating up to the top. And it should start coming down. Yeah, look, we've got items floating around at the bottom. And I've got my hopper minecart. Let's put it on the hotbar. Before night descends completely, let's see how we get on with this. Coming back. And, oh yeah, all over a stack plus some of the dirt that we got. Excellent. Okay, I think the next thing that I want to do is the unloading system. So I've got this here, and I think this is up to the height that I want it to be at. So we're going to have the minecart coming up here, and it will offload all of its stuff at this point. Now let's get some sort of placey block. Let's just use dirt as placey blocks because it makes more sense. So we're going to have our hopper here, and then we're going to start off with hoppers going across the way here. And then I'm going to have furnaces here. So we're going to have the kelp coming out and just be offloaded into all of this stuff. Cool beans. Right. I think that means we're going to have to come out in this direction. So let's go take one hopper, and that's going to go over in that direction. So the hoppers are just going to go over that direction there. Then we're going to have comparator coming out in this direction. Like so. Yep. And then we're going to have block there with redstone torch. So this is just like the unloader over in the sugarcane farm. So we're going to have that there, we're going to have that on the side, climb up here, have that on the top, and that there, and then one redstone dust there, which will power that rail. So when our minecart has something to offload, then it will stay here. Let's do this. It'll go off, it'll do its stuff. There shouldn't be anything for it to pick up, don't think. Yeah, there's nothing for it to pick up, but if we go and trigger this, there might be by now. Sounded like stuff broke, but it'll take a second for that to come back. But look, it is, there we go, it's already worked. But because that is backed up, it will stay there. Perfect, that's great. And it's nighttime again, how's it nighttime again? Swapping on to the trigger mechanism for this now, we're up at the top because we want to have our daylight sensor up at the top. Makes sense, doesn't it? Almost. So I want to have that there, I want to have that there, and then I want to have that there with that. Ooh, yep. Hadn't thought that through properly, but that is everything triggered now. I've done a little stairway down, so this trigger mechanism will trigger this line here. There it is. You see, that's kind of what I was afraid of up on this level. There's not a huge amount going to get stuck there, is there? It's gone out too, though. Might have to do something here. I think what I need to do is stop. See how these points here and these points here. See, this one's grown right up. Why is that one not triggered? There's one that's not triggered, and we've got it's come right up to the top, and it's made an infinite water source block here. So we've got still water up here, which is stopping these ones from being done. Right, let's jump down into this. For a start, we need to figure out why that one's not fired. Probably a missing bit of redstone, but what I also want to do is I want to go and just bring this right up here, like that. And that way, maybe that one as well. Yeah, I think this one here as well, maybe. We'll try it without first. Don't want to start doing too much and having it unreliable. But we're going to go like that. Right, that's good. Now let's figure out why there's that one bit here that is not triggering. We'll need to go down one. There we go. Yep, we're missing a bit. There we go. And that. Perfect. Good, good. Let's get up here. Good, good. So that did get rid of that. So I need to go along here and get rid of this water source block and this water source block. That's not good. But that's going to reform. Let me deal with this because it might mess things up completely now. And I might need to put the dirt and the ice back down. I'm hoping not. I'm really hoping not. Let's try that again. This is all repaired and these are still out, so we're not getting any growth. Really the only reason it broke is because I'd left it growing for far longer than it would be when we're actually harvesting it. And the stuff grew right up to the top, but it is a danger, so it is possible that the plants could grow quite that much. So just have to keep an eye on that. I'm not altogether sure how I could overcome that. Right, let's see. How do we make this again? I think we've got to have... We don't have an awful lot of that on us. I'm going to have that there, and I think we've got one like that, and then I think like this. I think that's it, and we have that there, set to the second thing, and then we've got this one here, like so. Then we've got dot there, that there. Yeah, that turns it off. Then we've got that there and that there like that, and then that on top of it. So there we go. It has triggered, and it is triggering. That's fine. And I just saw that bit of kelp go scooting over there. That's perfect. Okay, so this is now growing, and this should now just trigger every dawn. Right. I'm rethinking this entirely, because we've already got a minecart going around. Why don't we distribute the items into the furnaces using the minecart, rather than dumping them off into one chest and then having some other system distribute them? So we can use something kind of like what we've got going on over at the Super Smelter itself, and all we need to do is we want the furnaces at this level, so the hoppers that are going into the top of them are going to be at this level. So really we do actually need it forward another one, so that we're going to be here, and then we're going to be coming over this way. Let's just go kind of like that, yeah. And then we're going to be at this level. So the first one's going to be there, like that. Let's just clean up a little bit here. Like so, and then we're going to go like this. So we're going to go like that, and then we go shift jump and put them up there. Unfortunately, it was exactly as I'd suspected. I was sleeping too early. If you don't wait for it to get dark enough, the daylight sensor doesn't turn off sufficiently for the change from night to morning to be registered. So should be okay now, but I do need to watch that. Right, and I need to come out this direction for this one. Or I shift that. I think I'll shift that one. Right, let's quickly demonstrate that this is now working. It should be dark enough now. And now when I sleep, any minute? No? There we go, that's it. And yes, there's a little bit of lagginess when it fires, but it's not that bad in the great scheme of things. Especially when it's just when I sleep or right in the morning. I don't imagine there's going to be too much of a problem with that. Right, how far out from the middle is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I move that in, not the second one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, that one there, powers to the end, powers up to the middle. Ooh, I might need to go one more. Let's do this. So, second one in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see. Just quickly. Yes, that does do to the middle. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's fine. So that is all now powered, and if I put this minecart on here, it doesn't really matter which way we go, but he's going to go that way. He'll pick up all the stuff that was just harvested. and put it all the way around. Cool beans. And we've got one in there, and probably one all the way around. Cool. Now, what I'm going to do, pick up all this stuff that I've been harvesting so far, throw it in here, and he will pick that up on his next run round. He's probably full, but he should pick all that up in due course. Yep. Excellent. This is going nicely. So that will be evenly distributed. Distributed? I don't know. And we'll put these hoppers in like so. And this will all work nicely there. Cool beans. We will probably need more hoppers. Good job we've got an iron farm. So, yeah, I think we'll need to put the hoppers across the back for the coal. We can block off the coal stuff because if we put in, if we say put arrows in here, they're not going to get picked up by this. So that will work. Ish. So yeah, that'll be okay. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that at the moment. That's looking good. So it is triggering. Not entirely happy with the triggering mechanism, but it's okay, it is working. We've now got the distribution system, and it is picking up that. That is going down. This is what I'm doing now. We're going to have a release mechanism like we've got over there for the fuel minecart. Ouch. So we're going to have this little system here where it comes round and up. It's still going to be within the confines of the wall of the building, so it'll all be hidden. We've got the little ramp goes up, then we've got a non-powered rail that then goes up to a detector rail, which is then blocked off there. We've got a chest on top of that, which can still open. Then above that, we've got a sticky piston and a fence post here. So this fence post will stop the minecart from going. It will go there. Perfect. And that will quite quickly pick up lots and lots of items from the chest, which will be fuel, obviously, when we get it going. Whoa, whoa, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hoocha. Do not need that. Right. Anybody else going about? That was close. Right. So what we want is, we want this. Oops. Oh, that doesn't really matter. We want this when it is empty, or when it is full, rather. So that is empty at the moment, so it is not giving off a signal. So that should then go over and power that. Right, so we need to go out from this. In fact, that will do nicely to there. Is that going to be powered from the block below? I don't think it will be. If I take that off. No. No, it's not powered from the block below. Excellent, that's okay then. Let's put that back on there. So that is powered from that. And we need to take it up to there. So we go like that, like that. Yep. And then we can come up. Oh, I don't have any more wool. Let's get some more wool. So yeah, I've got to wait until it's really quite dark before everything harvests, so I think it's probably going to be a good idea to have a better timer for that, and for the sugarcane for that matter, because that's far from ideal that we've got to wait for that. Oops. I need some of that, I need some of that. Run out of blue wool. Let's make sure we've got sufficient stuff. That can go there. That can go there. We should be good. 25 of that should be fine. This is looking monstrous. It's going to look really, really good when it's done, because all this is going to be enclosed in as well. So it's going to be a gigantic rectangle. Rectangle? Rectangle. Why is that stopped? Because I unpowered it earlier. Right, that's fine. Right. This should come over to here, up, there, up, and there. And I think, just for safety's sake, I shall do that. Not for safety's sake, but for the look of it, we'll do that. And we'll go... Right, so that is powered. So now, whenever this gets a signal, when it's some stuff in it, it will go over. Now, how many of these have we got? It'd be nice if we made sure that it had sufficient in the minecart before it actually left. I wonder if there's a way of doing that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we've got as many. We've got 29 pistons, so we've got 27 furnaces, because we're one. Oh, no, we're not one over. We've got a slightly different number because we don't have here. That's why. Oh, well, we could put in another one there, couldn't we? We do have more furnaces. It would make sense, wouldn't it? So let's have 29 furnaces as well. I wonder if there's a way I can make that only go when there's 29 things in it. Okay, I've got an idea. Gonna put down a comparator here, like that, and I can put down a cake. And then, yeah, that's going to give out a full signal of 15 there, but if I eat a bit, there we go, it'll go down a little bit. So that's not full signal. Now, that does not have nearly enough stuff in it to count, but let's try this. Let's watch and see if I put in non-stackable things here to try and fill it up. It's going to go a little bit more, and then that should, yeah, that turns off. Now, at what point does that turn off? That's off there. Okay, so when it starts getting a little bit more than that, let's see. So a little bit more than that. Still a little bit more than that. Is it basically, yeah. It looks like it is. Once it's full of 3 and the tiniest little bit stacks. Is it gonna make me a liar? How much more? Yeah, there we go, that's fine. So, but basically it's gonna have to be pretty full of stuff. I might want it to be less than that. It doesn't need to be full stacks. Anything more than just a stack would be alright. Let's eat a bit more cake and see. So that's going to go down a little bit more. So that'll turn on. So it's not going to leave. So it's got 3. So 3.5 stacks certainly. 3¼ stacks, and then a little bit more than that. I might eat a little bit more cake and bring it down a little bit more, because we don't need it to have quite as much as that before it goes. 1 stack would certainly be sufficient. If it let it go at half a stack, that would be brilliant, because half a stack would mean that it would, or a full stack. A full stack would be best. Full stack would be best because it would go all the way down, filling up, and then all the way back, filling up. It would have a little bit left over, so it would have filled up all of the hoppers with 2 each, because it would have done 2, you know, there and back. But it would come back here and get stuck again. Yeah. So the remainder that was in the minecart wouldn't be enough to trigger this system, so it would wait until it got over a stack again. And that would make sure that it was always even. Yes, that's what I want. Okay, I think I have it now. I'm just getting myself a bunch of dried kelp so I can make kelp blocks. Kelp blocks, please make a full stack of that. And we'll come over here. I've got a little bit more here. So I think 1 bite of cake is enough. I've stopped this for the time being because I'm not wanting it going around. And if we come up here, so we've got 1 bite of cake, which is giving off this very weak signal, which at the moment isn't sufficient to turn this circuit off. Right? So let's get, we get that, and that is sufficient to turn it off. So a stack and a bit is sufficient to turn that off. Let's get some redstone, because I need a little bit of redstone. And I can turn off the locking mechanism up here as well. So let's, come on, let me get up. Thank you. So this is currently locked. If I go like this, that is it. Unlocked. The system is live. If I put my kelp blocks in here, it should, in theory, let this thing go. There we go. There was a little bit left there, so that'll be 1 stack and 27. Where is it? Why is it not going? Where is it? Oh, is it back up? It is back up. Which means these should have fuel in them. That's got 2. That's got 2. That's got 2. It ran a lot quicker than I was expecting. Excellent. That's got 2. This one's running. It's obviously, I missed it, which is a little bit annoying. But I'll just leave it to run, actually. May as well. But it would have had 2. So I went along and emptied all these out. Excellent. Right. I'll just take all of these out and pretty things up. But that is that functional now. So all I need is the dried kelp to do that. Excellent. Now I need to empty these things out. Out the bottom. I need more hoppers. I'll need more wood, and I've got plenty iron to do the rest of it. So we are pretty good now. Okay, the next thing is to make a system where we can get the fuel up into there. So that is obviously not convenient to get to at the best of times, so we have got the system here. This is going to be our output chest. This is going to be all the dried kelp that comes out here. That's all good. And this is going to be our input chest. We're going to put in our fuel here. It is going to come out and through and along this hopper chain here. Now, I cannot put a hopper chain directly in. I could do something a little bit more sensible here, actually. I could go and put a hopper facing down here, and then we'll go below this. We need to make sure that we've got a gap. We're running out of hoppers again. We're running out of redstone as well. I just did a redstone run. But like that. So there we go. So that's the fuel. It'll come over here. But as you can hear, that ticking is getting really rather annoying very, very quickly. So I want a way of making sure that this isn't going all the time. But I can't come under here because running a redstone line under there disables the hoppers. But what I can do is I can come out here a little bit. This will be beyond the confines of the building by a tiny amount, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be underground. So we will have, actually, if I can do that, and then that, and then I think this should do it. Yes. So it's empty. So the comparator does not give out a signal, so the redstone torch stays on, which means it powers that block, which means the dropper stops dropping. Cool. Oh, aha! And that's the other thing that I've done that has changed things up. So I changed the sensor up there from being a daylight sensor to being a moonlight sensor or darkness sensor. And that means it triggers at nighttime. What was that? What was triggering there? It's getting... How is it getting kelp? Where is it getting that from? It must be picking it up. Is it pulling it through? It must be. It must be pulling it through here. So I'm going to have to drop that down. Okay, well that's fine. That'll actually work okay. Yeah. It's pulling through here. How peculiar. I didn't think it could. Anyway, yeah, I'll just drop this down another level, and that should be perfectly okay. So it'll go down. I need to get in here to be able to do stuff, but I don't want to be doing it at night time. But yeah, that's perfect. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. The darkness sensor, or nighttime sensor, is working much better. So I'll change over the sugarcane farm as well. That's great news. And let's get this hopper system working now. So we'll be able to, don't want to break things too much, but that's perfectly okay. That was just aesthetic. So if we come along here and go like so. I mean, without the iron farm, this would be all but impossible because this is so many hoppers in this. So many hoppers. Right. Don't. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Never mind. That tells me that that is working okay. Yep. We'll just take that out of there. Perfect. Right. Fine. Cool. That all works. That all works nicely. Let's fill all of this in. Other than that bit, which we will have a torch because flashing redstone equals bad. So, yeah, that'll be fine. We want that. Not that we'll be able to see that. Flashing redstone equals bad. Right. We can fill in that. Fill in that. Nice one. Very, very pleased with how this is going. And we will build up this and we'll have a water elevator that goes up. And the water elevator will go up to those hoppers there, and we will be in a good shape there when we block them in. Right, so water elevator up. Yep, to that level, and then obviously we want to go up a little bit. Water elevator will come up to here. Nice. And then I'm actually going to be quite cheeky about this because, yeah, no, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. I was thinking about having the water just come flowing all the way over here, but it's only going to be sticking things up quite slowly. It's the fuel that's going in this one, so we don't need to concern ourselves too much with the speed of this elevator. And then we'll come up like this. Perfect, that's good. And then the water will come up there. Like that. Like that. Like that. Nice. And then we want glass at the front, because I'm going to have a glass there just so we can see items going up, not for any particular reason other than it'll look cool. So let's get some white glass. And I prefer the white glass because it's just, I know it obscures a bit more. Maybe the blue glass is actually a bit better than the white glass for being able to see through. But, yeah, I just like it. I just like it. So we'll grab some glass, we'll wall that in. And do I have, well, obviously I've got kelp on me. I don't have a bucket though. What have I done with my bucket? That'll do. So we'll get a bucket of water in at the top. Put that glass in, we'll plant the kelp, and everything will work perfectly. That's the idea. Nice. So glass in first. Actually, bucket of water in, because can I plant kelp on top of a dropper? I have no idea. Yes, I can. Excellent. That's good news then. Didn't want to do that, but never mind. Right. Glass in now. And I'll probably almost definitely not want that in there, but right. So water goes like that. Let's go down, plant our stuff. I don't think it's particularly important that this is all water source blocks all the way up to the top on this, but we'll just make sure. And then that should come up here. Yeah, they're going over there nice and quick. Excellent. Excellent. I want to make sure though that everything's going in. Yes, that's going into the chest. I can get into that. That's fine. Can I retrieve that from here? Yeah. Because I don't want it going in there and setting this thing off. Come on. That us? We all good? Excellent. Right. Water elevator done. So if we chuck in a bunch of fuel into this, it should, in theory, run. Right, let's check this out. That's going to go through there. It's going to go up there. Should go in here in just a sec. Can't quite reach that. Oh, can't quite reach that. That's going in there nicely. Excellent. Let's get out of the way before it actually runs. So it's going to start getting over a stack in just a second. We put in 2 stacks, so a stack and a half will go in-ish. Beautiful. It just went just over a stack. It's going to come back in a moment. There it is. And it is waiting to go again. Beautiful. Everything down here should have 2 bits of kelp in it. Or 1 now. Yes. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Let's have another one. There we go. Absolute perfection. So it has more kelp blocks in it than is needed to go along here, but it'll only go when it's got more than enough to do 2 runs. Or 1 run there and 1 run back, I should say. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Right. The timing system's sorted now as well, that it goes off at night time. So when there's a brief kind of judder of lag as all of these pistons and all of the kelp goes off up at the top, then that tells me it's time to sleep. I need to change that one, and I need to make this look pretty. Well, we're not done yet. I'm waiting for this to fire off because we've got too many. There we go. That's it, fired off. Excellent. Yeah, we've got too many furnaces. And what's happening is that we're using up too much fuel, so we're running out of kelp in here whilst we've still got fuel burning, so it's being inefficient. I was a little concerned because these hoppers were backing up a little bit, but it did actually catch up with itself. So let's go and send this round. I'm going to take that out of there, so we're going to send it round. It's going to pick up all of the kelp, hopefully. Didn't really check and see if it got it all down. We're close to it. I think that's everything now. I'll send it back round again, actually. But yeah, we've got 2, 3, 4 and a bit. Let's send it back round one more time just to pick up any last straggling little bits. And do it quickly before we get creepered or something ridiculous. Doing okay. Just now, having it harvest at sundown has worked a lot better. Yeah, there we go. So that has picked up presumably all of it now. So now I need to figure out how many furnaces I really need, because, well, we're going to need that many, aren't we? It's going to fill up that many furnaces. But is that going to smelt up in the time it takes? Because that's going to take 10 seconds. It's going to take 10 seconds per kelp to smelt. And there's 60 then, so 600 seconds, which is 5 minutes. So yes, in theory it should do, because if it's gonna go every... Even if I sleep as soon as I can when the thing fires, then it's gonna be 10 minutes during the day, because a Minecraft day is 20 minutes, I think. Okay, busy running a capacity test on the furnaces down there, but I am getting stuff stuck just here, if you see, and I have a plan on how to do that, and it involves stairs. Stairs are particularly handy because you can waterlog them, but because they've got like a full block on one side of them, the water will only pour out to either the sides or the front. And if you do that, then it will only pour out to one side and the front. So that's what we're doing here, is making an area so we can waterlog this and only have the water go out to one side. So if I do like that and then like this, then the water is contained and pointing in the direction that we want it to. Thank you, Minecraft 1.13.1, for being particularly helpful in that regard. Right, let's waterlog that, and that's now going that direction. Cool beans. So I can just do that all the way along, and I should... No, it's going to be funny about it. I do need to do each block then. But that's fine. I can just work my way along doing that. Ooh, don't jump in. Perfect. That's going to be good. And then when we get to the bit here where there's kelp, yeah, it bobs up and into this water source or water stream, and it's taken away. There we go. There goes another one. So we won't have any little bits sitting, floating. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And in case you were... Oh no. Oh no. I think we're done. I've done a lot of work. This thing is colossal. So, yeah, there we go. And this is working nicely now, I've got to say. The slabs work nicely. This extra bit up here had to be added on, and I'll show you why. I've done a little bit of bug testing. What I was getting was... This is all looking very good. Oh, it's busy putting fuel through. That's cool. So we've got our fuel in chest, our output out chest. Beneath here we've got 2 crafting tables, so all we need to do is come up to here and grab this stuff out, click on one of the crafting tables and go like that, and that's us. We're done. We're good, and then we can put it all in here. As you can see, the fuel input chest is not actually taking any of this stuff in at the moment because this hopper is locked. Let's have a look underneath here, and you will see that we've got an output. There's a redstone output comes out from underneath that lamp. So that lamp is powered and says fuel full when light on, and it powers this block. And then, of course, I go and break things. Let's quickly put that on there. So what that does is it just locks this hopper, so it means nothing else can go through. It's locked at the moment, despite that little breakage there. Let's cover this back up. Like so. Perfect, right? So that's a warning light. And when that's off, we just bung in some more fuel there. Not too bothered about having that extra in there at the moment. Round here, this is where our little fuel elevator is. So that's all cool. And then we've got that mirrored on the other side. Here we've got a way of getting in. Nicely lit up in here. I have got rid of a lot of the furnaces, so we've just got the 5 furnaces, and things seem to be going relatively well with that. Obviously they're all full up on fuel, everything going nicely. This just goes back and forth here, that's all good. Then we've got our little fuel setup here as well, so that's where the fuel comes over in the hoppers there and then down into the system that we set up before, and it comes along and over there. That's all good, and all our fuel full setup is checking for is, are there fuel items in this last hopper here? If so, turns off that torch and then it flips it back around again so the signal is on. This block here powers that redstone lamp, and it powers the redstone line that goes out and locks the other hopper from the fuel input chest. All nice. That's that done. This just is the cover over the top of the fuel input line here that goes over to our little setup there for the elevator. Up here you can see I have got everything lit up relatively nicely, so all the flashing redstone should be lit up to try and alleviate some of the lag when it goes off. Up here we've got our daylight sensor set for the firing of the mechanism, but it is of course set for the night time, so that is when it goes off just at night time, at dusk. This we've got set up here, right. This is a new addition since last I spoke to you, and what we've got is some of the kelp was growing up. The last 2 rows of kelp were sometimes growing up to the very surface of the water, and it was making the flowing water that takes the harvested kelp over there. It was turning some of the flowing water into water source blocks, and then those water source blocks were spreading along the back edge here, so the water was no longer flowing, so we were getting kelp stuck at the top. Now, really, if I was to build this again, I would simply make this deeper, so it would never get to the top. So I would go up another probably about this level, maybe a bit more deeper with water, so it would never actually reach the top before it was harvested. As it stands, I couldn't be bothered doing that, so what I've done is I've put in a double line of pistons that face down the way, and this is hooked up to the same system that fires off all the pistons below. This one comes up and then is powered from this end and then is repeated along. Probably didn't need all these repeaters, but yeah, it is done. We've got the double repeaters here so that these two pistons below here are fired and these two pistons here are fired, because if you've got a repeater it doesn't power the block underneath it that redstone does, and the same difference here. Similar to what we had to do in the sugarcane farm to make sure the pistons there work. But what happens is, when it harvests, these pistons go down and break the water source blocks, and then the only water source blocks for the flowing water are these ones in the waterlogged stairs behind. So it just means that everything stays as flowing water, because as you can see, some of the kelp is already quite close up. In fact, I think I can get in there and show you. Yeah, I can. So yeah. So these ones are about to grow up, and in fact that one already has. So over here we've already got water source blocks in this line here. That's not the end of the world, but these ones here, they come over, and then this row becomes water source blocks, and then we end up getting loads of wastage. Yeah, that one's grown up as well. So like I say, I could have probably got away with it had I just made this a little bit deeper. Am I stuck in here now? Oh dear, how am I going to get out of here? Do I have anything on me? Am I going to have to put in a block and do something silly? I think I'm going to have to put in a block and do something silly, aren't I? There we go. I'm going to have to retrieve that. Ooh, oh no. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, there we go. And now I can't. I don't need that one there, do I? Right, let me get this sorted out, and we will review the situation. There we go, all sorted. I just need to get that one little bit of dirt out from the inevitable area where it'll be. There we go, 2 bits of dirt. Just make sure that nothing else has gone in anywhere it shouldn't have done. Nah, we're good. We're good. And there we go, it fires again. So we're already down to 9 in these things here. Everything seems to be going quite nicely. I could always add in one more here if need be, but I don't think that is required. Everything seems to be going quite pleasantly, if I can get through the door. I'm quite pleased with how this looks like. It's got a lot of nether brick in it and a lot of glass in it, but everything going quite nicely. Excellent. Already got 4 and a bit, nearly 4.5 stacks since I've been speaking to you. So that is pretty good, folks. I think that about covers it, and I shall see you the next time. Don't forget, of course, like, comment, subscribe, all the rest of it. Check out my friends in the featured channels. But until the next time, cheery bye, and have a funs.